If you are currently looking for a new car, you've probably felt like you're stuck in the middle of a giant tug of war. On one side, you have the traditional gas guzzlers that we've known forever. On the other side, you have the high-tech electric vehicles that everyone is talking about. But while those two sides are fighting for your attention, something incredible happened in the middle. It's 2026, and the hybrid car has officially stopped being the boring choice for people who just want to save a few pennies on fuel. Today, hybrids are actually better, faster, and smarter than their gas-only brothers. Welcome back to Nick's Car Review. Today, I'm going to show you why your next vehicle shouldn't just be a car, it should be a hybrid. We've tested hundreds of vehicles, from tiny sedans to massive trucks, and the results are in. We aren't just talking about saving the trees, we are talking about driving the best machines on the road. If you want the absolute best car you can buy right now, look no further than the Honda Civic Hybrid. We didn't just name this our top-rated car, we called it the best of the best. This car is an absolute joy to drive. It feels quick, nimble, and perfectly tuned for the chaos of city traffic. Think of it like a pro athlete in a crowded room, it just moves better than everyone else. What I love about the Civic is that it doesn't try to be too futuristic. It has real, physical buttons and clicky controls that actually make sense. You don't have to dive through 5 different touchscreens just to turn up the air conditioning. It's a simple, honest car that just works. If you're worried about space, you can grab the hatchback version, which has almost as much room in the trunk as a small SUV. Now, it isn't perfect. The price starts a little over $30,000, and if you want the fancy speakers and screens, you'll be spending closer to 33 grand. But for a car that makes your daily commute feel like a breeze, it's worth every penny. We actually own one of these in our long-term test fleet. And out of all the fancy cars we have, it's the one everyone is fighting to drive home at night. It's the perfect example of why the middle ground is the new high ground in 2026. If the Civic is like a sporty pair of running shoes, the Toyota Camry Hybrid is that reliable pair of sneakers you've had for years. It might not be the most exciting thing in the world, but it is arguably the easiest car to live with on the planet. People love the Camry because it doesn't play games with your wallet. When the window sticker promises great gas mileage, the Camry actually delivers it in the real world. In our testing, it was one of the most consistent cars we've ever seen. The controls inside are so simple that you could probably find the volume knob or the temperature settings with your eyes closed. The driving experience is like gliding on a calm lake. Whether you're merging onto a busy highway or just trying to navigate a tight parking lot, it stays smooth and relaxed. The only real downside is the front seats. For some reason, Toyota made them a bit too firm. If you like a soft, squishy seat, you might find yourself complaining a bit on a long road trip. Now, let's talk about the category that everyone is obsessed with, the small SUV. For most families, this is the most important vehicle in the driveway. And for 2026, the undisputed king of this hill is the Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. If you're a car nerd, you might know that the Kia Sportage is basically the same car under the skin, but the Tucson has one major advantage that makes it the better buy. We'll get to that deal breaker in a second, but first, let's talk about why the Tucson is so good. The front seats in this thing are incredible. Our team was actually comparing them to the seats you find in fancy luxury brands that cost way more money. It's like sitting in a high-end recliner while you're stuck in traffic. The back seat is also massive. It's big enough for tall adults to stretch out, and it even leans back a bit. Plus, the trunk is the biggest in its class. You can toss in strollers, golf clubs, and a week's worth of groceries without having to play Tetris to make it all fit. But what about that Kia Sportage mistake I mentioned? Kia made one huge design choice that drives us crazy. They put the buttons for the radio and the air conditioning in the exact same spot. You have to hit a tiny switch just to change what the knobs do. Imagine trying to turn up the music, but you accidentally turn the heat up to 90 degrees instead. It's confusing and hard to use while you're trying to keep your eyes on the road. On top of that, the Sportage struggled to match its promised fuel economy in our tests. The Tucson avoids all of these headaches with a much simpler layout. Plus, Hyundai gives you an amazing warranty, 5 years of basic coverage, and 10 years for the engine and battery. That peace of mind is a massive win for a hybrid buyer. Now I know some of you are thinking, Nick, those Hyundais sound great, but I want something that is famous for lasting forever. If that is you, then you are looking for the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. This car is like the reliable older brother of the SUV world. Its biggest strength is something called consistency. In our real-world tests, we matched the promised 40 miles per gallon perfectly, which is an incredible result for a family SUV. It also has a really cool feature that no other small SUV has: a built-in dash cam recorder. It's like having a silent witness with you every time you drive. The trunk is huge, and it has tons of storage spots inside. However, it isn't perfect. The back seat is a bit tight compared to the Tucson, and just like the Camry, the front seats feel a little firm for some people. It's a tool built for a job, and it does that job better than almost anything else. But what if you have a big family? I'm talking about kids, dogs, sports gear, and maybe even the grandparents coming along for the ride. For 2026, there is one unquestionable champion for large families: the Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. When you step inside this thing, your jaw might actually drop. It doesn't feel like a normal family SUV. It feels like a high-end luxury car that should cost twice as much. The design is beautiful, but more importantly, it is incredibly useful. They put USB ports right in the back of the front seats, so your kids can charge their tablets easily. They even designed the second row seats to tilt out of the way so you can get into the very back row even if you have a bulky car seat installed. It's these little smart touches that make life so much easier. On the road, the Palisade Hybrid is quiet, smooth, and has plenty of power even when you have every single seat filled with people. Now, because it is so big and fancy, the top of the line version can get pricey, approaching $60,000. That sounds like a lot. But compared to the competition from Toyota or Mazda, the Hyundai actually feels worth the money because of all the tech and that famous long warranty. If that's too much for your budget, don't worry. The cheaper versions still have the same great space and comfort. And if you want 3 rows, but you need a car that is easier to park in a tight garage, you should look at the Kia Sorento Hybrid. It's basically a mini Palisade. It's smaller and cheaper, but keep in mind that the 3rd row is really only for kids. If you use those back seats, the trunk becomes tiny, you won't be fitting a whole week's worth of luggage back there. Now, if you want to know what the real pros drive when they have a big family, I have to let you in on a little secret. While everyone else is fighting over SUVs, the smartest parents are looking at minivans. And in 2026, the Toyota Sienna is the absolute king of this category. It's built to make your life easy. If you live somewhere with snow or rain, you can get it with all-wheel drive to keep you safe on the road. But the real party trick is in the middle row. These seats can slide so far forward that you can reach your kids in the back right from the driver's seat, or you can slide them all the way back to give adults enough legroom to feel like they're in a private jet. It has all the space you expect from a van, but with a hybrid engine that keeps your gas costs low. But maybe you don't need to haul 6 people. Maybe you need a vehicle that can actually do some work. This brings us to one of my favorite vehicles on the road today, the Ford Maverick Hybrid. For years, trucks have been getting bigger, wider, and way more expensive. The Maverick is the antidote to that trend. It's a tiny truck that is actually easy to park and drive in a crowded city. Don't let the size fool you though. It has a usable bed for your gear and a back seat that is actually more comfortable for passengers than the one in the bigger Ford Ranger. You can even do some light off-roading or tow a small trailer with it. The best part about the Maverick is the price. You can get a brand new hybrid truck starting at around $30,000. It's a simple, honest machine that does enough truck stuff for what most people actually need in their daily lives. Now, because it's a budget-friendly truck, the interior has a lot of plastic and the driver's seat doesn't have a ton of adjustments. Also, Ford likes to hide some of the best features behind expensive option packages, so you have to be careful when you're building your order. But even with those small gripes, it's a game changer for anyone who wants the utility of a truck without the massive monthly payment. It's proof that you don't need a giant gas-guzzling monster to get the job done. If you really need to do big truck stuff, like hauling heavy equipment or moving a whole house, you might think you have to stick with a traditional gas engine. But for 2026, the Ford F-150 Hybrid isn't just a good alternative, it is actually our favorite version of the most popular truck in America. Unless you were planning to spend over $100,000 on the crazy V8 Raptor R, the Hybrid is the one you want in your driveway. We actually bought one of these for our long-term testing, and we liked it so much that we kept it way longer than we planned. We put 45,000 miles on it, using it for everything from hauling heavy camera gear across the desert to helping half our staff move into new apartments. It never skipped a beat. The secret to this truck is the torque. Torque is basically the muscle that gets the truck moving from a stop, especially when you're carrying a heavy load. The F-150 Hybrid has 570 pound-feet of torque. To put that in perspective, that is more muscle than almost any other F-150 you can buy. When you're towing a trailer, it feels effortless. On top of that, it comes with what I call lazy boy seats. They are big, soft, and comfortable enough that you can drive for 6 hours straight and still feel fresh when you hop out. Now here is the honest truth. The fuel economy isn't quite as good as the government says. The sticker says 24 miles per gallon, but in our real world testing, we usually saw around 20. That is still better than the standard V6, but don't expect it to be a miracle worker at the gas station. It's a massive truck, after all. As we look at the big picture for 2026, it is clear that the hybrid revolution has won. We've looked at everything from the sporty Civic to the massive F-150, and in almost every single case, the hybrid version is the one we recommend. They are faster, smoother, and just more pleasant to live with every day. The cars on this list aren't just great hybrids. They are legitimately some of the best vehicles you can buy, period. We are going to keep testing every new model that hits the market, but for right now, these are the champions. So, which one is calling your name? Are you going for the tiny but mighty Maverick truck or the ultra luxury feel of the Palisade SUV? Whatever you choose, you are making a smart move for your wallet and your daily commute. Thanks for hanging out with us at Nick's Car Review. If this breakdown helped you figure out your next car, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel keep going. Stay smart, drive safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!